What up, everybody? What up? It's AG the Dad with Shit Talking Sundays, and today is Show and Tell. Today we got a special guest. We might not be able to show you, but we definitely going to tell you a little bit about him. But before we do that, we need all the little disclaimer things like please make sure that you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell you all your shit talking friends, especially because every day is shit talking Sundays. Um, what you're about to hear is in the light of a warrior, an MS warrior on her journey with MS. This is not medical advice. This is just her journey. If you have any questions, you should consult a doctor. With that being said, let me bring in the one, the only, the MS Warrior. What up? How are you?
Hey, fine, AG. I'm bouncing back. How are you?
I'm doing great. No
Good,
complaints, no complaints.
good. Because if you did, who would listen, right?
Sometimes if you yell loud enough,
They'll hear you.
you hear, because you know that old saying that where they talk about if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to listen, does it make a
Mm,
sound? Absolutely, because the Most High is there, He'll hear it, and all the little bugs and stuff, I'm sure so
They'll
they
just
make
be
a sound.
scattered.
We just didn't know what happened. But anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna let you do your thing and introduce your guests. And
All righty.
all right,
Will do. Will do. Hey, guys. Good evening out there in Warrior Territory. I hope everyone watching has had a great weekend and coming into the week that it's been fabulous. As for me, your girl, I'm bouncing back, getting better and better every day, stronger, stronger. You guys know the last couple weeks, I was kind of down and bouncing back from bad reactions to my 15th Kesimpta injection, but thank God it only lasted a week. As you guys know, as a business, doctor said if it lasted 2 weeks, he was gonna give me the boot off Kesimpta. And you guys know how I feel about that. I didn't want to be taken off Kesimpta because it's been doing really well. I've been doing really well on it. It's been doing really well for me. That's my partner, Kesimpta. So and researching other meds is just so disheartening. A lot of decisions to choose which one because of side effects. And you guys know the rigmarole because if you have multiple sclerosis, it's a good chance that you're on a DMT. But before I start running my choppers, I've got to say this. Anything that I say tonight on this podcast is strictly and solely what my medical team has chosen for me. Um, I never portray to be a doctor or give anybody medical advice. It's solely my journey. So by all means, if you need emergency care, please call 911. If you need any questions answered about what you're on or anything, if you're not feeling well, please always consult your doctors. Okay, but by all means, if you're um, needing emergency, please call 911. um, and also, I have a special guest tonight, and hopefully, we'll be able to bring him in here shortly. We had some connection difficulties. We were able to hear him, but we can't see his face. So, the man behind the curtain, the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, he's working on all that. So, hey, uh, that was quick. The Wizard of Oz has brought him in. Everybody, this is Josh, an
Hi,
MS Warrior. Josh, how are you tonight, my friend?
good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Hanging in there and bouncing back better than last week. I'm stronger this week and I'm improving. I'm back on my feet, as you know. Um, I had bad reactions on my last injection 2 weeks ago, and it put me down for a week. I am now happy to say I am back up on my feet and back doing the things that I was doing, and even a little more. I'm pushing myself right now. I started an exercise regimen, but anyhow, we'll
Mhm.
save all this about me for next Tuesday. Tonight, it's about you. I want to thank you so much for coming on Shit Talking
Oh, you're
Sunday
welcome.
platform with me and AG the Dad, sharing
Hmm.
your journey with multiple sclerosis. Um, I appreciate you so much, and you've always been a loyal follower and chiming in on it, and I appreciate you so much, so much. So let me
Sure.
start by asking you, Josh,
Hmm.
um,
Yep.
in what year were you diagnosed?
2013.
2013. And what
Mhm.
were your symptoms?
Well, it was really kind of weird. I would I would get this double vision
Mm,
for like a few seconds, and every time I would get the double vision, I had to pick my right leg up like
mm.
higher than normal to walk, and that would
Oh,
last too for
so
a couple
that co-
seconds.
that coincided together
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
same. Oh, did you had to lift your left leg because you weren't able to? Were you stumbling on it? It wasn't lifting properly.
No, it just felt like I didn't really have control.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I had to lift it up a little bit higher to get, a full step in. And
Wow.
I went to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. I went to my regular doctor. Finally, when I went to the eye doctor, his
Mm,
nurse said, I don't like the way he's walking.
mm.
So that's when they sent me to the hospital for an MRI. And that's when
Really?
they found that they told me, yeah, you have MS. And I was like, oh, great. What is that? And I think I said this
Oh,
in the podcast before. I thought it was like one of Jerry's kids, muscular
right.
dystrophy. I didn't know what it was.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Scary thing. And I've been there, right with you. My
mhm,
symptoms were um 2 weeks before the initial attack,
mhm,
across my arm here kept it was sore but burning. And I was like,
mhm,
gosh, what did I bump my arm on? Me and my sister were out on an outing and I kept rubbing my arm. Lo and behold, 2 weeks later, me, Larry, and the grandkids, we were in PetSmart. My left arm kinked up like I was having a stroke and I felt like I had to vomit. Nothing else, just that kinked up. I felt kind of like sick. And
mhm.
it just like it just came on like bam, all of a sudden, no pre-warning, no nothing. And I was like, oh my God, get me outside. I think I'm gonna throw up. And I did get me to the hospital. We thought I was having a stroke. Very,
Yeah.
very scary. So I can imagine that day, all what you were going through. Um, I haven't experienced myself optic neuritis or anything, but I had a couple years ago, my right eye started getting irritated and it just shut and
Mhm,
it swelled like if I got socked, and it hurt
mhm.
real bad on the inside. And I was like, damn, what is this? And
Right.
actually this is right before my diagnosis, and the doctors, oh, I don't know, but we're going to give you some drops and put a warm compress on it. It took about a week and a half to really subside, and it actually gave me it almost looked like a black eye you know
Oh, wow.
so yeah, so the eye thing is very common with MS, and I'm sure now that you understand probably why that happened.
Yeah. It was scary. I mean, I went through that for a
Mm,
few weeks. And
yeah.
after that, after they found out what it was, I have not really had any issues since 2013
Oh, that's
until
good.
last year. Um, I got a spasm for the first time, and I thought I was
Mm,
having a stroke because my whole right side I couldn't move. I was like, I just couldn't
Oh,
move for like a
oh,
minute. And it called the ambulance, and they,
yeah,
because I didn't know what was going on. And
yeah.
that's when they put me on. But I wasn't on. The first thing I was on was Beta Seron,
Okay.
and they said I made too much cash for the assistance, and I still couldn't pay. It was like $3,500 a month for the Beta
It's
Seron,
expensive. Yes.
and I felt so sick for
Mm.
about 24 hours after I took the shot.
Of the
Every
beta.
other day I had to take the shot. Yeah,
Oh.
it was terrible. It really was terrible.
Mm.
So I wasn't on anything from 2014 till last year.
Oh. Oh, really?
Yeah,
So,
it's
so
just
that's like
Kesimpta.
okay. And how long are you in now on the Kesimpta? You're right with me, aren't you?
I'm one shot behind you.
One. So you're on your fifth. You're going on your 15th.
Yes, I
Because
just
I'll.
ordered it today,
Oh,
actually.
that's funny. I just confirmed. Mine is getting delivered now in threes, and it wasn't before. It used to come just one injection, but
Okay.
mine, as you guys know, will be the 29th, around 29th, 30th. And gosh, I hope I don't have those hard side effects and stuff like I did
So
last.
you have to take 3 shots?
No, my insurance is giving me 90-day supply at
Oh,
a time.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so now when you had that, now are they calling it at that point, Josh, with the eye? Are they calling that optic neuritis?
No, they didn't call it that. They just well, maybe it's, from what I was reading, it's definitely a part of optic neuritis, but it was mainly just double vision. That's
Double
all it was.
vision.
And
Okay.
after 3 days of the steroids,
Mm,
the intravenous, and then a week of prednisone away. That's it.
right. And you know what? Thank God you were probably treated, probably if it's intravenous, it's Solumedrol, most likely.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And you know what? It's like, God forbid any warrior that is put in that situation, and I'm sure you've been there. I've been there many times. Thank God, or from what I've learned and talked with many warriors through the week, that no one has shown signs thus far that I've known, and believe me, it's a wide spectrum. So not even a smidge, I'm sure, of all the warriors, but God forbid one of us be allergic to Solumedrol, because
Ugh, forget it.
Solumed- Solumedrol is my best friend, you know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
because I can't do prednisone, the pills. I can't do any of those. So
Okay.
yeah, my body rejects it. I feel like I'm being poisoned. Um, Last time I had to be on the prednisone pills, and this is the first time and the last time, I don't know if I should say it caused a blood clot in my spleen, but it was
Oh,
during the time that I was taking it. Yeah.
wow.
So no more for me. No, none of that. And my doctors even know, okay, we can't send you home on the prednisone. So we're going to have to, you're going to have to rent a room for us, with us for about 3 to 5 days, to
Sure.
do the Solumedrol. So, and of course,
Okay.
as we warriors know, that is our firsthand treatment on a flare or, a relapse. So thank God,
Sure.
and I never hear no other word. It's always Solumedrol. I've never even been on any other medicine but the Solumedrol to treat that. So,
Okay.
okay. So now you're being treated and you're there like three days. So what do you do when you leave there? How did you process this information? Because when I'm sure maybe at that time, because even when they told me, I'm like, multiple sclerosis. Okay, let me get out my dictionary. What is, so can you explain to me, like, what went on in your head at that time, that you were diagnosed?
Fear,
Yeah,
more so
that's a
than
big
anything,
one.
because it's fear of the unknown. Um,
Yeah,
you know, you read horror stories sometimes of people. My doctor told me, don't read that stuff and try to stay away from like for a while until you feel you can handle it, because you're going to hear
right.
stuff in there that's going to scare you.
Oh
And
yeah, definitely.
yeah, so the first thing I did was I went to church. That was the first thing I
Really?
did when I got out of the
Okay.
hospital. I went to church and I prayed, because I was still having the episode
Yeah.
when I left the hospital.
Oh,
So I had the
okay.
episode for about a week after. When I finished the prednisone, that's when it kind of started subsiding, and I wasn't getting the double vision. I still get the double vision from time to time, but that walk thing just went away. The trouble walking, that's not there anymore.
Oh, okay.
Now it was just fear. That's what
Fear. Yeah. Yeah, and that's that's big, and it doesn't, for me and probably a lot of warriors, um it fear kind of doesn't ever go away for me, kind of, but I've learned to cope and
Yeah,
deal with it, because if you stay with that fear, it'll turn to stress. And stress
yeah.
for us, stress for anybody is no, we're all grown in here, right? Yeah, stress for anybody isn't fucking no good. But
No, it's terrible.
even more, yeah, and for us, because it's our nerves are affected, the stress, it's just like compounds.
Mhm.
I was hoping Liz would join us tonight. She's usually on with us every Tuesday, because she had mentioned some stress last Tuesday, and I just wanted to capitalize on that openly tonight with the warriors, because there's, with all that change of life with MS, um, I'm sure we've come to a point sometime in that spectrum of, say, me 2017, you 2013. I'm sure there's some point in there where we've stressed or even had to stress, So
Sure.
stress, and you don't have to be sick to stress. You know what I mean? So
No.
it's, yeah. So, okay, so now you're prednisone, you're getting well, you're getting better. Do you
Mhm.
come to the point to where, okay, so you call your neurologist, or they set you up with one,
Mhm.
and to say, okay, do you want to be on a disease modifying treatment? What was your plan at that time?
Well, he recommend when I was in the hospital for about 4 days,
Hmm.
and while I was there, my neurologist, he said beta seron. Now this was 2013, so he said beta seron was one of the first. It's one of the safest for this, that we know about right now. And
Right.
he said, I think we should try this and see how it works for you. But you have to work yourself up to. You're going to get sick like after every time you take it. You're going to get sick for 24 hours.
Hmm.
Okay, but your body it has to work up to the dosage where you can take it like I think it's every day, but I was
Mm,
doing it every other day.
okay.
Eh,
Almost like
I
build up immune, almost seems like.
Yeah, it was really rough. I mean, it really felt like you had the
Mm,
flu for 24 hours. And
right.
finally, I said, I'm doing this stuff anymore. I don't want it. Then they
Really.
tried to put me on Tecfidera, which is the pill.
Right. I
And
did
I said, you know
Tecfidera.
what? I'm not doing this. I'm really
Mm.
bad. I said, I'm not doing. I had the pills in my hand. I threw them in the garbage. I said, I'm not doing this
Really?
stuff. Forget it. Yeah, I said, you know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stay stress free, and I feel good right now, and I'm not going to worry about it. That's not
Right.
right. That was, I mean, for me, I'm not telling anybody else to do that, but for
Right.
me, it was wrong. I
Right.
should have been on something, but
Right. We
So
we have all, in regardless of whose path, how their path was, I had a path too. And I didn't do anything about it. 10 years, they said, well, you have some predominant, I had some issues. They ruled out a stroke. They said you had some white spots, small white spots in a predominant area where MS strikes. So I went and had all the tests done. They did 2 lumbar punctures and 1 day on my back. The surgeon couldn't draw the
ooh,
fluid off. So that's when I said, I'm not doing this again. Twice in 1 day was enough. She couldn't get fluid. And so 10 plus years later, bam, it hit.
yeah,
And I say to myself too, but I beat myself up over it for about 2.5 years. And then I said, you know what, Warrior, you need to get over that because you can't turn back the clock. And this disease is here and it's beating you right now. It's beating the shit out of you. You have to take it on and deal with it. I didn't want to deal with it, but I was getting sick. You know what I mean? And when I was
sure,
down, I was letting it beat me down, and I
yeah,
thought, okay, well, it's going to beat me. When it's done beating me, I'll get back up. That's not how it works. The more and
right,
more, and I can even say that now in this last 2 weeks, and I have noticed this before with my body with this MS. If I sit still too much, Josh, when I don't feel good, it makes me worse week wise. It's like, so I'm like, okay, 2 days of rest, and then the next day I'm up. I got up
right.
this time these last couple days, and I held onto my kitchen table because I was so friggin' dizzy. But I said, you know what, that's gonna pass. And I just stood there and I waited for a little bit, and I waited, and then I went on about finishing doing what I was doing. Another 4 minutes had passed, and there comes that wave again. Well, I
Mm,
held on to the counter this time. And so
yeah,
I find for me that the more I rest, if I get too much rest behind not feeling well, it kind of lingers longer. It's like I got to get up and fight it off, and then I start the incline again. So do you find yourself, no, let me back up. I don't want to get off your path here. Okay, so you're now said no, hell no to no more pills. And you
right.
had the Tecfidera. Did you even try the Tecfidera?
No, no. I said, you know what? I'm not even. And it was really. I mean, I should have tried it. It should have been on something. Uh, and why I say that is because last year when they did the MRI again, he said you have a lot of lesions on your brain,
Welcome to the
and
club.
he's like, he's
Welcome
like,
to the
we
club.
to do something about this. So that's when he's like, I got to
Right.
put you on something stronger than Tecfidera at this point. It's like I got to give you something
Okay. And
stronger. So,
so,
and it
but
is.
that's good though. From 2014 to 21, that's 7 years.
Yeah.
What happened in that 7 years? Did you have any relapses? Did you have any
Uh,
flares? No?
couple of times, I'd feel like a leg sensation where it feels like, your legs are falling asleep, like for no
Yes.
reason.
For no
A
reason.
couple of
Yeah.
times, yeah. But that was it,
Yeah.
all the way up until last
That's
year.
good.
Uh,
That's wonderful.
and
That's
now
wonderful.
that episode left me with, and I think I told you this in a chat, where I stand up for like 10 minutes and my lower back gets so tight that I got to sit
Yeah,
down.
you did. Yeah. It's
So I
I
don't
think
know.
that's spasms, I think.
Well, I think I definitely had to do with the spasm that I had because I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
feeling that problem ever since that spasm. I'm telling you, I've never felt anything like that. I fell and the right side of my body, I could not move and
Yeah.
sit for about a
Yeah.
whole minute. And then finally it came
Yeah.
back and I was like, oh, but this part of that where I was stressing and stretching from that
Yeah.
spasm, I
Yeah.
think it did something to me. Honestly, I really do. It was really bad.
Yeah. It seems like now certain part of after I do the injection, the Kesimpta, it seems
Mhm.
like within a week time, like after I do the Kesimpta, I get this especially when I'm tired or when when you're in bed and you stretch,
Mhm.
I feel sometimes that I'm going to get a spasm that I'm not going to be able to come out of. It's like I feel it in my gut, like something's going to get
Yeah.
so tight that where my body is like when I'm stretching, it almost
Mhm.
feels like I'm going to, lock up, you know,
Yeah.
lock up, and that's a spasm.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen to me all the time, but it's just I notice it, and it's something about the Kesimpta. After I do the Kesimpta, a couple days into it, my body when I stretch and it feels like in my gut. Now I haven't felt good before, and it's a MS thing, of course, because we suffer from
Mhm.
spasticity. I have felt before, and I've
Yeah.
told my doctor, I feel like I'm going to lock up. And they always ask me, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, my body literally feels like I get this sensation almost like a seizure. I've never had a seizure. God forbid. I've never had a seizure, but
Mhm.
just knowing and hearing stories, and you almost can kind of say like, oh, I wonder if that's what that feels like. So it's a weird sensation that I get sometimes, and it always starts in my midsection, and I feel like if I stretch too hard, it's going to lock up. My arms feel like they're going to lock, my stomach
Uh,
feels like it's just going to, you know so I definitely understand the spasm, the feeling of your body locking up, and I'm sure that had to be really, really painful and scary at the same
it
time.
was.
So
It
now
was.
you've been diagnosed with MS. Um,
Mhm.
no meds. You stayed off. Now
Yeah.
what came, and that's fine. I stayed off any medication before the Kesimpta. I stayed off 8 months because everything that I researched, even the Kesimpta, it
Mhm.
stopped my immune system, and I didn't want to do that during COVID. I was scared to
Right.
so I held off. That was bad. That was bad. But you know what? I felt really good for 8 months. I felt really, really good. But
Okay.
guess what? Bam, it hit the brick wall again. And this
Yeah.
time, a new lesion. I hadn't had new lesions from 2017 until a year ago when I got put on Kesimpta. And that was me being off any medications. I wasn't taking anything, for MS except my vitamin 3. I did some vitamins and, tried to eat the best that I
Mhm.
wanted to. I'm not the, you notice how I didn't say the
Right.
best as I could. I said the best as I wanted to. So, um,
I didn't even
I've
do
been
that.
on, yeah, but hey, it's all right. You're here. You're on Kesimpta, and
Yeah.
it's doing well for you. How would you say the Kesimpta is working for you?
Well, I have, I listened to your advice when I first, because I think I reached out to you before I took it, before I started it.
Yes, I think so.
And, you told me, because you for me, so you told me your experience
Yeah,
that you had after you took it. So, I took the Tylenol and I drank the water and stuff like that.
yeah.
And, of course, I mean, I didn't notice anything. And I still don't notice anything after I take it, except when I stab myself, it kind of hurt. I mean, for me, it
Really?
does. Yeah, it's not like
Oh,
it
okay.
it doesn't, I don't feel anything. It does hurt a little bit, and I just go between the two legs. Like I never do it anywhere else. Um,
Oh, okay.
so I don't know. Maybe I need to start trying my arm or belly or something. I don't know.
You know, and this is it and this, as we're speaking, if you warriors are listening, other than me and Josh here tonight, anything that we say is not directed to you or telling you, Josh, injects in his upper thigh, or I inject in my belly. You do exactly what your doctor, you and your doctor have put together for you. As for my neurologist, he's given me options where I can inject, but I only use my belly, my abdomen, because that's where I have the most fatty tissue. I was on Copaxone for 3 years, and my arms are depleted. See that indent? See that marking,
Yeah.
that scarring? That scarring from here to here, and see it sunk in
Yeah.
on both arms. See that? That's
Yeah.
from, let's see. That's from injecting Copaxone. The top of my legs are like that as well.
Okay.
I was on Copaxone 7 days a week for 3 years straight. I injected 7 days a week, 7 different spots. So now, for my belly, thank God, I was like, let me push some cheeseburgers and some French fries for a couple of months, and to get this belly a little bigger, so I could have some cushion to to inject in. Because what I've noticed is, even when I was injecting, Copaxone, still the same thing, subcutaneous. That means under the skin. It was 20 milligrams. It hurt like hell in an area where I had no fatty tissues. So
Okay.
with the Kesimpta, and I'm not telling you to do this, friend, but I'm just saying, for me,
Mhm.
I have no pain in my belly at all when I inject. None.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, none.
Good.
I don't feel the needle barely prick, and the medicine going in doesn't even burn. I don't feel too much of anything,
I'll try it.
so
Yeah.
yeah, and that's, I know with Kesimpta, we have options. It's not just the belly, and it's not just the legs. We have, multiple sites that we can use. So, but please, by all means, use your own discretion, Josh. I'm not
Yeah, I
telling you
know. No, I
to
know.
go
I know.
in your
No,
belly.
no.
So,
What
go
part
ahead.
of your belly do you use though? Like, do you do the middle or the sides or?
No, I go under my belly button. Under my
Okay.
belly button.
Wow. Okay.
Yep,
All
under
right.
my belly button. And you got to do, if you choose to do your abdomen, you have to stay 2 inches away from your belly button
Okay.
all the way around. No,
Okay.
no, don't do it in, and which you already know this, no damaged tissues,
Right.
tattoos, any of that.
Right.
And for me, thank God, because I am tatted there, so I
Hmm.
was like, thank God, I have space. But
Right.
so I was like, okay, I'm good. But thus far, it's been a year and nothing. Way different than injecting the Copaxone. So much smoother. Are you
Yeah.
finding so now, are you doing Tylenol and stuff still every injection?
You know, no, I don't really need it. Like, it doesn't really do
Good.
anything, which is good. I mean,
Yeah.
I
That's
found
good.
that I don't, you know,
Yeah, that's
the
good.
only thing I prep is the alcohol wipes. I get alcohol
Right.
wipes and clean the space before my hands and everything,
Oh
and
yeah.
leave it out for 30 minutes so it gets room temperature. You know,
Right.
and
Okay.
that's all I do.
That's good. I'm too chicken to stop the Allegra and the Tylenol.
Okay.
That's I'm too chicken. Especially now, ever more so. This last episode that I
Mhm.
had, I felt like I had the flu for, oh my gosh, that whole week. I
Yeah.
was shaky. I felt really bad. I felt worse then than I did the very first injection. It lasted
Okay.
longer, but I didn't have the fever. But this, I didn't feel good at all. I felt really shitty. I felt to where a couple days in, and I was like, okay, I give this until tomorrow. If not, I'm going to the ER, because with these meds, you never know what they could affect. We're at
Sure.
higher risks with these medications for your heart,
Sure.
liver, kidneys, and you know, home away from home is the ER for me. That's just became my natural. If I sneeze funny, I tell Larry, oh, did you hear that? Can you take me to the ER? The ER
Oh
is
no.
home away from home. He's like,
Oh.
oh my God, do you have to go to the ER for everything? So, but that's just me. It's like, okay, I don't feel good. Take me to the ER. But so that's good to know that you're having no side effects. You're not taking anything for it. And overall, Josh, how do you feel on Kesimpta? Do you go back to 2014 to now 2022? So you've been on Kesimpta with me a year.
Mhm.
Have you noticed a big difference overall in symptoms? How do you feel? Is there a difference?
No, when he put me on Kesimpta, I was going through a not a flare up, but an episode.
Mm-hmm.
It was something, I was seeing squiggly lines before I got the
Oh,
spasm, like all these weird
mm,
little squiggly lines I was seeing, and that was basically it. When I went to see the neurologist, he put me on Solumedrol for a few days and gave me steroids to
mm.
go home with. And
Okay.
I was getting the Kesimpta set up, and he gave me a trial one for a couple of months until I got the Kesimpta. And I mean, it's really hard to say. I mean, if it's working or it's not working. I don't know, because I feel like I just went through the episode and the steroids got rid of the episode. But
Right. Okay.
I don't know if the Kesimpta did anything to it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Right. Right. You'll,
So,
yeah. And that's kind of what you can say, kind of is since it's been a year, you haven't had any more episodes with lines, seeing squiggly lines or anything. No more episodes.
no, I had a flare up, which I told you about. This was
Right.
maybe 6 months ago or something.
Just, right.
And,
Right.
and it was just like
Okay.
all these shaking, and a lot of the stuff from last year came back. All that stuff
Came
last year
back.
kind of hit me hard at one time.
Right.
Okay, I felt like
Yeah.
somebody was choking me. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, it was the weird sensation in my
yeah.
legs and my arms, and oh, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Ooh, and then that's, you know what? But with that being said, you know, thank God you are on medication, really. Just,
Now, yeah,
yeah, just because it's one of those things, better safe than sorry. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Better be on something just so something
yeah,
doesn't, you have a relapse and you don't come back to baseline. It's okay and it's terrific for you not to know what the before was, to know if the Kesimpta is working. The only thing is you'll know if it's working if you don't have a relapse. You're going to experience probably the flares, you know,
hmm,
but the relapse is where it counts for the medicine that you're on, is to
right,
stop that progression, that relapse. If you have a relapse or I have a relapse, that means the Kesimpta is no longer working, for my
yeah,
system. And that's why I was so worried that this episode wasn't going to clear up within the 2-week span that my neuro gave me. He'll be calling
hmm,
me actually on the 15th to see what condition I'm in. And I'll be
hmm,
so happy to tell him, oh, no, you keep them prescriptions coming because I'm
yeah,
okay. I'm sure if it was something worse and my levels were jacked up and doing some crazy stuff, then for my own health, I would definitely consider, getting off of it. But
sure,
um, it wasn't. And I didn't show no signs of infection. I went to the doctor They ran some tests and rolled out some. I still have to have some blood work tests done, but just for, and I am fine now, so I don't think I have any infections. I would be showing signs of really some more fatigue. I probably have a fever. I'd still probably
Right.
want to vomit, just those classic
Sure.
symptoms. So,
Sure.
as you know, Kesimpta puts us at a higher risk for infections.
Yes, it does.
So, right. So that's why, I was on it. My doc was on it. And I was like, hey, send me some paper, send me over to the other lab, because where I'm at, they could only do so much. And I want you to test me for, PML. I want you to test me for any virus that I can get, because
Yeah.
of the injection, because it was just a couple days. The next day I was down. I was like, Jiminy Christmas, what the hell? So anyways, so now Josh is on his newfound journey with MS. How did that impact your life at that point? Like, I mean, what did you go through? Did you go outside on your grass and scream to the sky, why me? How did it how did I mean, I broke down, cried. I just I was, of course, real emotional and just struck at the same time, like, damn, this could have, what if I would have pursued this with this, 10 years prior. And so what did it do to your path, family, children,
Really, my wife
job?
is, yeah, it's challenging. Um, my wife is a ginormous help to me,
I'm
and
glad you have
I'm,
that support.
lucky I have her, until
Yes.
Pamela gets here. But
That wouldn't be Anderson, would it? Oops, did I say that? You thought I forgot.
I mean, until Pam gets,
You'll be okay until then, huh?
I'll be all right. I think I can muddle through. She
You
gets
think?
here.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
I hope
sorry.
your wife is not listening to the podcast.
No, I'm in the office and I don't know where she's at. Um,
Chasing
I
Pam away.
chasing Pam away with a broom. Leave Pammy alone.
Right? Oh my
Oh,
goodness. So did you think like, oh man, my career is over?
no.
How is this going to affect my marriage?
I think everybody with an underlying disease, kind of goes through all these thoughts in their heads. And I
Yeah.
go through those on a daily basis, to be honest with you.
Mm,
So when a problem does arise, okay, I've already went through
okay.
this in my head. So, I just try to stay positive as I can. And
Right.
I have a lot of faith in the medicine that we have out today. You got to remember, 25 years ago, it was really nothing
Mm-mm.
for
No,
MS.
no. I mentioned this in a podcast. They used to, when before the medicine, they would put you in a tub of hot water. And
Yeah,
to see if you had MS, because the hot water would make your symptoms get worse. That's
yeah,
how they
mhm,
diagnosed MS. Hey,
yeah.
Captain Tommy, join in, join in. We have a special guest. This is one of our warriors here, Josh. Captain Tommy just jumped on.
Hi,
And,
Tommy.
hey,
Yeah.
Captain Tommy, he says, just got home from my follow up MRI. Oh, okay. So I would ask you, how'd that go? Sending all them good warrior vibes to you. because I'm sure maybe you didn't get your results tonight, but I'll be praying for you that they're clear, nothing new, and everything's a-okay. I hope you're not in a relapse or a flare. Is that why you had an MRI? Fill us in. We'd like to know. So tonight we're, as you see, I just introduced Josh. He's a fellow warrior, and we're getting the male perspective on having the nasty disease, multiple sclerosis. So you're not, so you're hearing it from a gentleman and not just me, because as you know, MS isn't prejudice,
Where's the gentleman?
So you. So so to understand, coming from a gentleman's point of view, what he goes through with MS is key. And what I've found in research is that in MS is more highly in women than men.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also people are more affected on the north of America than they are anywhere else. And they think it's due to climate, because it's hotter north side. And as we know, we can't handle heat too well. So those are some crazy issues. Let me read Captain Tommy's response real quick, and we'll get back to your questions, Josh. He says, I was diagnosed in December, so this is my follow-up from my diagnosis. 40% more common in women. And Canada has the #1 MS rate in the world. Really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, me either. Canada? And it's cold out there.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Well, depending on where you're at in Canada.
Yeah, true. Okay, Tommy, so your follow-up for your diagnosis in December. Okay, so let's hope that you get you ace this MRI and there's nothing new on there, and you just keep chugging along that path. And I believe you're on Kesimpta as well, if I'm not mistaken. And Captain Tommy, tell me, me and Josh here, we're just one injection apart, and we're a year, let's just say a year. And where are you at in that span? Is this December 2021 we're talking about? And how long have you been on the Kesimpta? So Josh, okay, so we know that you've got a remarkable support system, your wife. And how does this affect your career?
I mean, there's good days and bad days. There's some days that I can't, I don't have the strength. I mean, the fatigue is really bad.
It's big,
so,
yeah.
it's kind of hard to get up and get in there and do what I have to do, but you just kind of, you just do it. And, there's certain things I can take, and I've never drinking coffee in my whole entire life until like the last couple of years, because it really helps with the fatigue.
Okay. So it does help for you. I've never been a caffeine drinker. Never been a caffeine drinker. Even sodas is caffeine free and
Yeah.
I love the taste of coffee. My coffee is decaf, but I have some regular coffee. But from what I've researched, and this is just my solely knowledge of, caffeine is bad for inflammation. It causes inflammation.
It does.
But,
it does.
like everybody and everything is in moderation,
Yeah.
moderation. So if it helps, it helps you, gives you a little pick me up. When that pick me up is over, do you just fall apart or
No,
do you notice it?
no, I don't really even notice that. I just go on with my normal day or evening or
Really?
whatnot.
Okay.
But the MS has affected work and has affected, because I'm a chef, so I have to be
Oh,
on my feet,
that's big. Yeah,
and
that's big.
uh, it's really rough.
Yeah, I feel you, friend. I know. I haven't worked in a couple of years um for the leg factor, and I just couldn't. I mean, I'd get off work, and then I would fall asleep right away. I'd
Yeah.
come up from work and be beat, like beat, and I was like, what's going on? Prior to my diagnosis, I kept going to the doctor for my legs, and my doctor at this time, I wish I had to go by her office and throw some eggs or something because egger. I kept going to this woman, it was my doctor at the time, and I was in a clinic, and she was one of the physicians, and it was downtown, and our downtown is like, okay, the nice doctors out this way and stuff. She kept telling me, and this is right around the time I started going into menopause, and and at that age, bracket, and oh, well, you premenopause, blah 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 blah, and this that and that. They just kept getting worse, worse, worse. And of course, until my diagnosis, I was like, yeah, man, this premenopause shit is for the birds. This is my take, and but that wasn't it. It was the MS, lo and behold, years down the line. Um
Right.
learning, and then I was like, oh sheesh, okay, so this is why, you know um my fatigue before Kesimpta hurt. Does that make sense? Do you hurt with your fatigue, Josh?
No, I just feel like my body, it affects me, it affects my legs, it affects my arms. Um,
Like makes you slow, heavy, like it's taking a while to get that signal to move your that limb?
yeah, kind of, yeah, just really, I just feel really like worn out, like,
Right,
you know,
right.
just worn out.
What my fatigue before Kesimpta, and even before I was diagnosed, if I stayed up too late or did too much at the end of the day, work and stay on a Friday, went to
Mhm,
work. I worked for DME, Durable Medical Equipment Company.
mhm.
I did orders for oxygen and stuff, uh, getting orders of oxygen to people's homes that were being released from the hospital, either on
Oh
hospice or they
wow,
needed it and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I sat down a lot. I had my own desk. I sat down a lot. But by the time I went home, I was just like, my legs were just like they hurt so bad, literally in pain. They
mhm,
hurt like if I was
yeah,
forcing them to do something that they didn't want to do. And the
mhm,
feeling in my chest, my fatigue, it seems like it all comes through my body and gathers right here in my friggin' chest. And it's a
yeah,
weird sensation. It's uncomfortable, and it's almost a pain, but it's more of a discomfort, if you
sure,
can think about that.
yeah,
It's not a pain like, oh my god, am I having a heart attack? Nothing like that. It's just a center here, and my fatigue gathers here, and heat calms it down.
mhm,
If I drink, hot liquids, it calms it down. And then I have
really
to do that.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah. But since the Kesimpta, it's helped that, I would say, 60%. So now,
Wow, very good.
yeah, that's one thing with the Kesimpta. I can say that I notice a difference is that, and because of that, I feel like I'm able to do more. Not a whole lot more or a longer period of time, but my life as I knew it before the Kesimpta and a little ways back, it has gotten better. I'm doing more, I'm getting out more. Before I could get up and go do dishes, the fatigue would gather here in my chest, and I'd have to go lay back down to reset. Do you feel better? Like if you take a nap or if you just go lay down when you feel like, okay,
Oh yeah.
this fatigue, yeah, like to regroup, reset.
Yeah, I'm always laying. I'm always watching like a movie or something on my bed and just and just laying around on my
Yeah,
bed.
that's
Always.
me. That's me. Don't feel bad. Everybody knows that when they come over to my house, the living room is my bedroom. So that's where, that's where we congregate, and everybody knows, and they don't care. They pull up chairs, we turn fans on in different directions, and and usually it's family and close friends and grandbabies. So they're fine getting in the candy drawer and coming plopping on the bed, and we order takeout and everybody brings it to my bed and we get down and do all that, so that's
Yeah.
that's my comfort zone, is my bedroom, so I get that. And don't feel bad about that. We're entitled to lay down. Did you know that? We're entitled to.
Tell my wife that. Hold on a second.
We are entitled to that. So now we know a little bit about your journey, and I appreciate you coming on live
Sure.
tonight and sharing with us. And you're welcome to be on with me. Any chance that you get, you want to share some views, you want to research and jump on with me, I'm glad, more than happy
Sure.
to have you coming in with a male journey at any time to spread awareness is amazing. So anytime that you want to be on, hey, just knock on the
Well, thank
door,
you.
say, hey man, I want to talk about some stuff tonight, and
I
you're
appreciate
you're
that.
more than
Thank you.
welcome. I appreciate you getting on.
Thank you.
Sharing awareness is key.
Sure.
As you guys know, I have a wonderful support system behind me that lets me lay around in my bed all the time. So, and it sounds like you have an amazing wife behind you as well, and that's key. Not everyone um, is that lucky, at home to have the support system, and some it's
Sure.
hard on others.
It
The
is.
disease alone is ravishing. It changes people's lives traumatically,
Yeah.
and why we do this podcast, and you may be tired of hearing me say this because you're always on with us every Tuesday, is to spread awareness, to be there for someone else who needs someone to tell them
Sure.
it'll get better, it'll be all right.
Mhm.
There's treatments, you're not alone. We're just a
No.
few steps ahead of you. You're right behind me, and you're right behind Josh. You might be right with me.
Yeah.
Um, this disease hasn't been talked about as long as it should have been. Just because there wasn't no treatment for it
Right.
years back, along with other things, people didn't talk about those things, just like mental illness, that's been around since, man, hundreds of years, but people didn't talk about it, in my mother's era. My mother
Yeah.
would have been in her, actually, she would have been 81 right now. And she passed of cancer. But back in her day, my mother was bipolar. Her mother and her grandmother were. My mother didn't, but her grandmother and her mother went through electric shock treatment. That's how they treated
Wow.
mental illness, and it's just not, nowadays, it's not so much of what do you call that word, where you don't speak of, people have to speak of, because we need to understand it. It's real and people are suffering from it. And if my voice
Sure.
could reach someone, just to let someone know they're not
Sure.
alone and we're here. We exist. We
Sure.
really do. We exist. So um with that being said, guys, we're running like 7 o'clock. You guys already know I can stay and chit chat. I'll tell you all kind of stuff. I have a whole show lined up for next Tuesday. But what I do want to do is just let me chime on Captain Tommy's conversation really quick before we go.
You can't hear me.
No,
You hear
talk.
me, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. If you want to run long, I don't know what Josh's time frame is. You can run a little
Oh, I
longer.
got nothing to do.
Oh, if you want to chit chat, I mean, this is
Yeah.
show and tell. Hopefully, we
Show
get
and
more
That's fine.
people out here that want to, learn more. You got questions? Ask questions. Share.
Yeah.
Everybody share. The more we share, the more we like, the more we subscribe, the more we gonna get more awareness out there. So by all means, if you want to keep talking, hey, shit talking Sundays every day is shit talking Sunday. So talk shit.
I will chit chat for a few minutes longer. Let me conversate with Captain Tommy really quick. He says, yep, third dose on the 10th of June. My fourth will be July 8th. Okay, so yeah, you're just trailing by 2-3 shots. Okay. He says, something else I seem to have noticed was the day I woke up after shot, I seem to feel amazing. Hey, amazing. Do you know in which the last 3 months prior to now, I woke up day after injecting and I felt terrific too. I had no side effects, no nothing. So it can happen. It really can. He says on the bright side though, let me make sure I read the shot. I seem to feel no, he did say that. He says on the bright side though, they are very close, probably 10 years from remyelinating medication to repair and reverse the damage done from SPMS and PPMS. Josh, what type of MS do you have? Did we lose you, Josh? Yep. AG the dad, we lost Tommy of audio.
I don't know why.
Josh, yep. Did you mute us?
Look at your thing. No, it's not muted. Hold on. I think it's his reception. He's got bad connection at the moment. Hold on.
Oh. Uh-oh, Josh, are you back?
Maybe refresh, Josh. About refresh, I'll bring you back in.
Okay. So Tommy says, yes, Tommy, I agree. I've been doing a lot of reading on MS and the new news that comes out, out of Ohio and Harvard. And oh my gosh, they are getting really close. And I heard about injection. I wouldn't say injection, but what is an injection? But since they were working on the vaccines for COVID, they are finding out that this vaccine, not for the one for COVID, but vaccine they're stumbling across is being able to repair some myelin. And hey, that's what we need. It would be awesome. And I truly believe I'm 56 years old. I'll be 57. I do believe they're going to make they're going to find some type of cure, or I don't know, by repairing the myelination, if that's a cure. I don't know if those two go together, you know what I mean? But that's repairing the damage. Even if they could repair some damage, that is, awesome. We're coming close. Hey, Dree. And also he says, and what I was saying is, I believe, yes,
Hello?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You got your network behind you now? I can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then Tommy says, so we are getting super close to finding a way to make MS just a boring autoimmune disease. Yes. Wouldn't that be fantastic? I mean, there's so much progress being made that's in the positive direction. And if it doesn't happen in my time here, it hopefully soon after, so people behind me can not suffer from this illness. Sure, it would be nice, while we're still here, because we're on the front lines of this MS, right, guys? So I would love to be one of those that can say, I was suffering from a MS, and now I am on injections or whatever have you, and that's repairing, you know, my myelin sheath. Who wouldn't want that? Especially for, my kids. You know, that's you don't never want, your loved one to suffer with this disease. So um I do a lot of reads and try and keep up with stuff like that, because you never know what you come across, or how you could be in that loop of, making a difference and change. You know. So Josh, in your light from 2013 to now, um what um do you find yourself steering your boat with MS? Do you feel that the
Um,
path that you're living MS and MS isn't living you?
yes and no to that.
Mhm.
There's some days that I feel like, you know, I can't control some of these these sensations that I feel, and
Right.
it really makes me feel in control. But then there are some days that that I feel like
That
yeah,
everything's
I'm in
okay.
control of this, and it's not that big of a deal. It's doable. But
Right.
the best advice I can give anyone, and this worked for me. I can't speak for anybody else, but
Yeah.
is try not to stay away from horror stories. You know,
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it'll
know you
frighten
should
you.
edge yourself, but
Mhm.
they just, they make things worse. They really do. They
Right.
make things a whole lot worse because everybody's MS is not the same.
Same is different.
Your
Yeah,
MS is not like my MS. Yeah, we may
exactly.
share some similar
Symptoms.
issues,
Mhm. Yeah,
symptoms, but it's really it's a tailored disease.
it
It's
is.
tailored everybody specifically to, so everybody's
Right.
different.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Exactly. And then with that being said, because of those things, it your life kind of gets shifted around how you're affected, you
it
know,
does, and
by
you're
by
afraid of
the
the unknown.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's what it is.
exactly. Exactly. And that's why I always
So
tell everybody I preach education, is key to
it
learning
is.
about it. So when you are struck one day, because since my diagnosis in 2017, up until April, then I started of last year, I started having new symptoms. So it doesn't just stick to your original symptoms that you're diagnosed with, because you have to
Right.
have some symptoms to get an MRI. So all those for me, even back to 2017, I've never had an attack that kinked up my left hand like I had a stroke like I did then. I had to go to
Right.
physical therapy. I had to do all that because my hand wouldn't open.
Right.
I had to work on that, So, thank God I haven't had that attack that affected, me like that. I've had attacks to where my left leg wanted to kick out. When I was just sitting down, my left leg would just fly up, and it was almost like it felt like a spasm, like
Hmm.
spasming, and my leg
Hmm.
just wanted to kick out, kick out, kick out. And I
Right.
remember I was sitting in the ER waiting room, and people were looking at me like, "What is wrong with this lady?" And I couldn't control it. It was doing it it's on its own, I could feel that nasty vibe that my leg wanted to kick. Do
Sure.
you have you
Yeah.
ever suffered from RLS? When you're going to bed, you lay down, you just your legs want to jerk back and forth.
Yeah, I'm constantly kicking my wife and
Yeah.
punching her, and
You're trying to make room for Pamela Anderson. That's what you're
gotta
trying
make
to
room for Pam, good old Pammy. Come
You already
on.
tried to kick her out the bed already. Don't do that. Oh my goodness. See you guys out there. I always tell you to come over and get in. We always have a couple of laughs. So it's not always about the
If anybody late, we are talking about Pamela Anderson, by the way, just so we clear that up. She'll be
yeah.
moving in soon, and
Yeah, as soon as you kick your wife out the bed.
hey, could you hear that? No.
No. And don't ever let her hear that. She'll be like, well, who's that lady on that thing? I don't like the way she's talking. Don't get me in trouble,
Hey, it's
Josh,
Pamela.
please.
I'm on a podcast with Pamela Anderson.
Oh my goodness, that we just had to crack a little joke on that. I'm turning into AG the dad here because he jumps on every moment that I stick my foot in my mouth. He jumps on it. I'm doing his part tonight. Oh my goodness, but yeah, so you you have to deal with um and everybody has their own way of dealing with it. So and it's hard, like you said, not everybody's disease affects them, the same way. I know people who have not personally, but personally on blogs that have MS, and they're running marathons and you
Right.
know doing that
Yeah.
type of physical stuff. And I would love to run to the end of my street. And then my street is really short, but that's not in the cards for me. But just because that's not, oh, I went bike riding yesterday. I bought a bike, a beach
Oh, wow.
cruiser.
Good for you.
Yeah. So me and my granddaughter, we bought her electric scooter for Christmas. She'll be at 11 in a couple days, and I bought this cute, beautiful yellow. I'm gonna do a recording of it and me riding, and we went out and tested it yesterday. But we ran around a couple of blocks, and I felt okay. I really did. I felt okay, and I
That's
was like, you
great.
know what? Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I have to strengthen my legs, and my
Mm,
core. This last time that I was hit with that flare, I feel a big difference in my core, and I never had thus far. But this last the not relapse, the flare that I just came off of in April, it did a doozy.
mm.
It really did a doozy. I thought that it was more than just a flare because of those symptoms, and working to try and get back to baseline was hard. I thought I wasn't going to come
Yeah,
back to baseline because it took too long. But lo and behold, I'm back to baseline, and things are
that's
really,
great.
really good.
That's
So
great.
Josh, has there ever been a time to where you haven't felt well and you think that you weren't going to come back to baseline? Has that ever happened to you, to where you thought, oh man, and did you have to go to PT? Did you have to do anything at home? Did you say, you know what, I need to work on this because if I don't, I'm going to lose my strength?
They recommended physical therapy. I went one time, and I just didn't. I mean, see, I have a problem with giving things a chance. That's one of
Oh,
my issues. Okay,
no, that's
and
hey, we're humans. That's what we do.
I didn't feel like it was doing anything for me, even though I didn't give it really much of a chance. And I
Right.
said, you know what, I'm just not going to go back. But um, no, I mean, I try to stay as positive as I can. And
Hmm.
the really good thing now about having MS today, opposed to having, like I said, 25 years ago, where
Right.
really all they had was a hot bath, like you said, and
Yeah.
steroids. That's all they
Yeah.
had. Annette
Yeah.
Funicello, who was like the poster girl of MS.
MS. Yes, I forgot about her.
She was on nothing but steroids, pretty much. For her life, I think she was on Betaseron, which
Mm.
is the drug I was taking, because that was one of the first ones that came out in the late 80s,
Yeah, early on.
early 90s. Yeah. So, there was just she suffered a lot with it, with
Yes, I
MS.
remember her
And
beach movies as a kid. Yeah.
yeah, and I think, she died of bed sores or something for the MS because she couldn't get up. That was it.
Really?
But I could be wrong, so don't
Oh,
quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure that's what
yeah.
my neurologist said. Um,
Oh, then
and
he's probably right. Yeah.
but getting back
Because
to,
there's go ahead.
well, I just wanted to finish the thought that I had was that having
Yes.
MS today, I think if we're all not, I mean, if we have MS, we're not fortunate, of course, but
Right.
we are fortunate in the sense that we have it in today's world because so much more, and there's so much more we know about
Right. Yes,
MS
the
now
treatment.
that we
Yeah.
didn't know before.
Right. Right.
So,
Oh,
if you're not feeling well, chances are your neurologist can get you on the path to feeling better.
better with
And
MS.
there's just so much that we have now that we didn't, and there's so much more to come too.
Yeah, exactly. And you're so right. Thank mercy that this is now for me and not possibly, at my mother back back at my age for her or younger because they didn't have the treatments that they have today. And that's sufferment. I can just imagine, okay, me feeling the way that I do a lot of the times, a lot of the days, and not having any medication. I
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that's torture. That just really feel like torture to me because with just as well as other warriors out there in warrior land watching um the sickness that you go through daily with MS, and it's a wide variety. It's not just one symptom. It's multiples, and me thinking right now I have symptoms, Josh, from
Mhm.
head to toe. I suffer daily with those issues,
Sure.
and you probably have a few,
I do.
as well.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's horrible to be living with this disease, but thank gosh there's medications that keeps us well enough to keep
Yeah.
to have our senses,
Yeah.
especially because pain and tiredness weighs on a person's mind greatly,
Sure.
you know,
Mind is
and
very
it,
powerful.
yeah,
The
yeah,
mind is very powerful, and
exactly. Hmm.
it
And if
could.
you let it get you, and sometimes depression and everything, we're more at risk with depression with
Mhm.
MS and some of our
Yes.
medications. Even the Kesimpta. Every time I call in to reorder, they ask me the
Mhm.
first question they ask me after they find out who I am and I'm on Kesimpta and da 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 da. Um, that um, are you having any mental changes? They
Yeah, me
always
too.
ask me that. Yeah, so I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, don't scare me. Stop
And
asking
I
me.
say yes. Oh, I say yes right away.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but I don't think you guys need to know this because I don't think it's from the Kesimpta. If you knew my family background, you'd be like, oh shit, we can't blame the Kesimpta. They'd be like, excuse me, warrior, but I think we need to put you on a different medication. Well, no, we're going to keep you on the Kesimpta, but we're going to prescribe you something else too.
I
So,
always say, they say, are you feeling depressed? How do you feel? I say, have you talked to my wife lately? Ask her about it.
well, she's saying, well, you might want to ask, I won't say her name, but her address are PA.
Pamela, darling.
my God, Josh, you're hilarious. So, but yes, we all have to us warriors, just we got to find that light and push on. Like you said, we have a lot out there in technology that's helping us um
Yeah.
s- keep with some quality of our life. And believe you me,
Yes.
warriors out there, I'm not taking away from any of us who are bedridden, who are in a wheelchair that cannot walk. I
Of
definitely feel
course.
feel for you, because
Yes.
that's real, and there's different forms. There's 4 forms of MS, and we all are affected by it differently. Josh may not have my
We are.
symptoms, but that doesn't mean that he's not suffering from MS. I may not have Josh's symptoms, but I'm
Right.
still suffering,
Sure.
daily too. And with the technology and everything, and groups, even, thank God for those groups, because
Yeah.
I belong to many, and I have had some amazing conversations, and women letting me know that have hit me up. How are you today, warrior? You're on my mind. Are you pushing through? Are you
Yeah.
feeling better? And that right there gives you the purpose not to be defeated.
Exactly.
You don't
Exactly.
have to be defeated at all. You
No.
you may get knocked down. You may have some hard days. You may,
Yeah.
you know, but what I have found is I've got to take my time, because I know that's what my body needs. You
Mm.
don't every day have to jump and try and conquer the world, and stuff. I find when I do things little here, there, I accomplish more. I really
Sure.
do. And then I feel better doing it. I really, really do.
Yeah.
And I always say this at the beginning of the year. I said, I will no longer let MS live me. I'm going to
That's right.
live MS. And I've been steering my boat ever since. And even
Yeah.
though last week and a half I did not feel good, and something crossed my mind, and I almost slapped my own self. I said, I was starting to feel down, because that takes a toll on your mental when you feel so sick. And I said to myself,
Yeah.
I said, warrior, if you even think, and I said this to myself, honest to God, I swear on my mother's grave, I said, warrior, if you even think those negative thoughts that I feel that's about to come to your brain, I will slap you myself. This is me telling my own self. And I said, you know what?
Mhm.
Nope, nope, nope. And because I started to go there mentally. And it's
Mhm.
hard sometimes, Josh. Our warriors out there. It's draining. It can be, especially when you don't feel well, and it's not letting up after days and days and days, and then it
Sure.
just seems to be getting worse.
Yeah.
That's when you take hold of it and you say, nope, 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 nope. I've got to push through this. And you get on those blogs and you see other people, you talk, and it really does lift you, and it gives you a stronger backing, a purpose to know I'm going to get through this, because I'm not alone. There's a lot of people
Right.
like me that's pushing through.
Yep.
And the strength, and I always say when I talk to people, MS is not for the weak. And I don't mean to be condescending, but you really have to be strong as shit to
Well,
deal
yeah.
daily, Josh.
Because you don't know what tomorrow brings. This is the
No.
problem. It's so
Yeah.
unpredictable.
Yeah. There's been, and maybe for you too, and I'm sure a lot of warriors, I have went to bed feeling decent, woke up and almost not being able to walk.
Yeah.
I have issues sometimes where I can't feel my left leg, and
Yeah.
but what I can't do anything but fight. My spirit, the woman that I am today because of MS, oh, I'm going to beat the shit out of
Mhm.
MS. I'm going to beat it. I'm going to beat it every day that I wake up, and I'm gonna let it know, no, you're going to take the back seat, because I've got the keys, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna drive, and more I can't kind of process or feel for a man's point of view, because a man um carries carries the weight of his home, everything on his back. He's the provider, he's the strength,
Sure.
everything,
Yeah.
so how does that affect you? Do you feel less in those areas because you're stricken, or do you just really say to yourself, this is me, and I know I'm not a weak man, but this MS, because eh, do you get what I'm trying to ask you? Do
Yeah.
you feel do you feel not strong anymore in those
No.
areas of your life because of MS?
I acknowledge, I guess I did, I should say, like, when I first found out that I had MS, and, we were debating. We have two kids, and I have a son, he's 11, and I have a daughter who is 8.
Oh, you got
And
babies.
yeah, yeah.
Are you crying already? You haven't hit the teenage years yet. Buckle up, Buttercup. Hey, I'm gonna say a little funny right now. Put the big boy drawers on. Buckle up. I won't ask you why you're crying. Okay, so you got little
I
ones.
just I just see Pammy getting further away.
Yeah, especially if she's watching this podcast. You don't have a chance in hell, buddy.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
goodness.
we were trying to decide uh, if we should have another kid because of the MS, because we found out I had MS. My
Mm,
son was already born, and we just decided, maybe we shouldn't, just in case. We don't know. I mean, I didn't know anything about MS, and my wife didn't
right.
either. But
Mm,
we said, you know what, we're gonna roll the dice on this, and we're gonna have one.
right.
And she said, yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna have a baby, and I didn't have a choice. This is
Hey.
this is what she said. So
You do. Don't make no excuses for Pam now.
Tammy.
But
So
as we know it, life goes on sometimes.
yeah,
Sometimes we have to take chances, you
once
know?
once I came to terms with my disease, I did not feel um, like a weakling or less than. I have a disease. I have a disability. Um,
Right.
I can still do all the same things I used to do, but I am limited in some
Hmm.
ways. Okay.
Right.
So know your limitations and you deal with it. And that's it.
Right.
Life goes on and
Yeah.
you have to go on with it,
Yeah,
as
exactly.
and as
It's
long as you
you're
go ahead.
right. No, go ahead, finish.
I was just gonna say, as long as you don't give up hope. I still
Right.
have hope that this will end one day. And I hope it's in my lifetime, but if not, I hope for other people in the future that they get to see an ending to this disease.
Exactly. Me too. Me too. Me too. And like Captain Tommy said, and that I know, and I don't know if you do reads on the disease and treatments, but they're getting close to, um, in healing the damage,
Yes.
so that is terrific. Let's talk. I'm gonna ask. Drea is asking you, Josh. If you don't mind me
Hmm.
asking, Josh,
Sure.
how old you are. She said that you sound like you're a college kid.
Oh, well, I'm 9. I just smoked a lot when I was younger, so I look like this.
You look like
Now
oh,
I'm
that's why, because you
47.
want Pam to come babysit you. That's why you say that.
Tammy.
If y'all don't know, for for one quick second. I got to pause for a quick commercial break. Hold on.
Yes, let's do it.
That's for all you bobblehead fans out there. That's right. Shit Talking Sundays. We got bobbleheads. You know, we want to
Yes,
put it on.
yes, yes.
Just a friendly reminder. They customize it. Upload a picture. They'll make it look just like you. Hit the description link down below if you're interested. It'll be down there for you. But with that being said, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so Captain Tommy, he says, thank you guys. And I know his messages passed, but I wanted to acknowledge him and tell him, you're so very much welcome. It's my gift to be able to get on here and pass my journey and the awareness on to my other warriors and be there for share, compare, and support. So thank you much for the acknowledgement. I so appreciate you, Captain Tommy, for chiming in on Tuesdays, and I'll keep doing it as long as I can. And actually, the person who made this happen was AG the Dad. It all goes to him. Without him, I wouldn't be doing this podcast. He's the one that takes his time to every Tuesday evening to put me on and just to spread the awareness of my journey with MS to reach people. That's the whole goal. So you're very much welcome. And Virgo Dree says, I just want to touch base, and she doesn't put. Okay, well, let me see. If you don't mind me asking about Josh, how old? Josh answered, I just wanted to touch base on she doesn't pose a factor in MS. He sounds so alive and wouldn't ever be able to tell, right? Yeah. She said not he. You're much welcome, and I'd love to have you on the show as well, Captain Tommy. It's always open to my warriors. So you could always hit me up on the chat and we can send you a link. It's real quick and easy, and that's all you got to do. Link it and join in. We'd love to help you guys. I have one quick story to share, and then I'm going to say goodnight. Okay. So Dree, are you listening? This actually, I wanted to call and tell you this too as well, but I hadn't got the chance. So this is weird. Okay. I always believed in a higher power. Okay. Always. My family's real Catholic, and my Larry's mom is okay. Dree, listen. So this is the story that it was weird that I needed to share with you. So Larry's mom and Larry were brought up in church, raised in church, and she still is, and his dad and stuff. And when since I had fallen ill with MS, she had always came to the hospital and prayed on me and over me at the hospital, even when I'm home in bed sick. She doesn't live here in Sacramento where I live. She lives in Modesto, California, and that's an hour drive. And mind you, she's in her early 70s. Her and her husband, Larry's father, they'll come down to Sacramento and pray over me. He's a deacon. His father's a deacon, so they pray over me a lot and stuff. And since this, now I've known them 12 years, but since my diagnosis, I've turned to God more than ever. I always had, but it always seemed like that I only reached out to God when I was in need. And when things are going good, you don't think, well, I need to pray about things in my life or thank the Lord, for my blessings. We never think about that stuff until something bad happens and be like, oh my God, I need you now. My tire just popped and I have no money till payday, stuff like that. But I had told her, and this is Larry's mom, I had called her and I had told her, because I had been having these feelings that I I'm right. I don't know if I'm right. Josh, did you say you got it tonight? Because I could say bye to you. I don't want to keep you longer than what you can, because I know you're ahead of us time wise. Josh, thank you so much, buddy, for being a part of the show tonight. You're welcome anytime as well. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. I so appreciate you. And let's talk soon. If you want to be back on next Tuesday, hit me up and let's do it again. It was a blast, a pleasure having you on tonight. Good night, friends. Sending you warrior love vibes. Good night. So, guys, so I had talked to Miss Shirley is her name, and I said, Shirley, something is pulling me to God, and I don't know. I've never felt this before, and I don't know what to think of it. Is it a positive thing? Is he trying to tell me something? Or am I not doing enough? Am I doing something wrong? Am I praying wrong? Am I not praying right? Is God trying to pull me more to him? Is he trying to give me a sign? What is it? Am I missing something? But I feel this feeling. I was feeling this feeling. I couldn't just put my finger on it and exactly, but it was something, but it had to do with the Lord. That I do know. And I pray heavily multiple times a day, and I feel better with my disease since I've been praying, and I thank the Lord every day, and I give him the glory, and I ask for 100% healing, since I've been sick, and of course thanking him for my blessings and stuff, because I don't need for anything. I have everything that I need, and I'm very content with that. Even stricken with this daily disease, I don't want for nothing. But so she says, well, you know, you will see what he is telling you. Just you gotta see it. You gotta realize it when the time is there, when something he presents something to you, you have to be ready, be aware. So okay, so we had a little conversation. Okay, well, thank you for talking to me. Da 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 da. So we hang up and whatever. So I'd say about a month now. A month went by, and this just happened 2 3 days ago. That okay. So I woke up the other morning, and Larry was heading to work, and it was the day before. I still wasn't feeling well. I was feeling a little better from that injection. And this was days after. And that morning I woke up and I was like, you know what? I want to go get my car smog. My tags are up July 2nd. And I was like, you know what? Larry was like, okay, I'm going to work. I was like, all right, talk to you later. I jumped up out of the bed, Googled this car place. It was close by. And I was like, okay, I need something really, really close because I'm driving myself. I thought I was a big girl. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go do this. Grab my papers, called this place, didn't ask the price, didn't ask nothing. And that's not like me. I am very much, well, how much is it? Do you have any coupons and shit like that? You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, if their price is 80 something bucks, I'm going to get it for 60 because I know they have a 10% off coupon, 20% something. I'm always looking for deals. So, you guys, I didn't do none of this. I just called the place, got up, threw my clothes on, grabbed a water bottle. I never leave home without water because sometimes my neck acts weird and I choke on my saliva and I need water. And I'm driving by myself and I'm like, what the frig am I doing? I'm like, I put on some big girl drawers that morning because I'm now out by myself and I'm not far. I'm just a couple blocks over, but still I'm by myself. So I'm like, okay. So I get the dude on the phone and I'm like, yeah, I need to smog my car. How long is the wait? He said, come on down. It's 10 minutes. I said, okay, be right down. So I'm driving, get in the car and driving. I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling fine driving, driving, driving. I said, oh, here's the place. I'm here already. Pulled in. Well, Larry calls me and he was like, he could tell I was driving. And he was like, well, uh, canceled. So where you at? You driving? And I was like, yeah, I'm out getting the car smogged, the Dodge smogged. He's like, okay, where are you at? Give me the address. I'll be right there. And I said, okay, he came. So I pulled up to the thing. The man was talking, the worker. I knew it was him. I shouldn't say this, but he was foreign, and the dude I spoke to on the phone had a heavy accent, so I kind of figured it was him. Pulled up, he was talking to some other guy. The hood was open, they closed it. He was like, "I'll be right in. You can go into the office." I went and sat down and waited about 10 minutes. Dude came in, paid for a smog. The worker handed me my papers. It was the same guy I seen outside. No other workers were there. Nobody else was there. Period. Now I'm in the office by myself, and that man is in the office too. So he hands me the papers. I fill out my name, address, phone number, and all that stuff. And then he grabs my keys and he brings the Dodge. There's chairs outside, so I go sit outside. And I had brought my cane with me because I hadn't been feeling good. So I was like, oh, you know what? I better bring my cane, because if I have to stand, I'm going to need some support if I can't sit down. So, usually those places, they have a chair in there because it takes a while. So I got out of the car with my cane and did all that. Office came out, sat in the chair. Dude pulled, it was a man, he's in his 50s. He pulled, the Dodge in, doing the car. Larry pulls in my stall where I was at, and he comes and sits down to me next to me in the chair, and we're talking. The guy comes over and he hands me a slip of paper, and it was for the car. And I said, "Oh, did it pass?" But he only gave me like almost the receipt to the smog, but it wasn't the smog certificate or the pass paper or anything. It was just that yellow slip, and that it said it was $58. So he goes, "No, but so far so good." He went back under the hood. We could see him right there doing his whatever he was doing, the machines, the shit. And then he comes over, and there's a piece of the brick wall before the doors. He comes in, he sits down, he kneels on it, and he turns and he has the papers and everything, the clipboard now in his hand. And he turns and he looks at me. My cane is laying, half on my leg and still on the ground. And he looks at me and he goes, "Why do you have that?" And I looked at him like, so I was like, "The cane?" And he goes, "Yeah, why do you need that?" And I said, "Because I have multiple sclerosis, so I can't stand too long or walk too far." He said, he leaned in a little bit. He looked me right in my face, and Elle's sitting right next to me. He says, "God's telling me to heal you." He stuck out his hand and he said, "God is telling me about your faith." He said, "God is telling me." He said, "Can I pray for you?" And I said, "Yeah." So he started saying this prayer for healing. And I got the goosebumps just talking about it, because that kind of, so now, mind you, while he's working on my car, smogging it, 3 other customers have walked in. They're in the office. We're right outside the office. And these people can hear everything this worker is saying. So he's got his hand out to me. He never touched me, but he had his hand close to me, like this distant. He had his hand out. And he said a prayer. He started talking about prophets, and he said he was a prophet. And he said, "God has told me to tell you you're healed. He's giving you healing, and you need to have the faith." This man sat there 20 minutes praying and talking. Elle is chiming in because Elle could relate to what he was saying. So Elle was kind of basically, for me, he was vouching that what this man was telling us, it was legit, because he was raised in church. So that day gave me the goosebumps and stuff. This man took 20 minutes sitting there talking. He didn't give a shit about stuff.
The prepaid call from
Daniel Farinas.
Oh gosh.
an inmate at Sacramento.
I got an important phone call right now on the phone.
$11.
It's all good. I'll take over for a second. You know, it's so crazy for me with with the life that she goes through and what you guys were talking about, for me, it was it sounded like a lot of similar things, especially the fact that I, with concussions, uh, um, and going through the MRIs and you know, medication, concussion and depression can be misdiagnosed really easy. I know that with me, it was um, because my father passed away last year, and then 2 months later, my auntie passed away. Um, and then when I got back, I think the following month or two, I hit my head and got a concussion. When I went to the doctor, I didn't put two and two together because we've all hit our head here and there and felt normal. But when I went to the doctor said, you know what? I think everything is just catching up to you because my father died, then my auntie died, and at the funeral, right after the funeral, one of my cousin passed. So with all that combined, the doctor was like, you definitely have a concussion. I mean, I definitely are depressed. So they put me on depression medication that really didn't do anything. And then it took a while for them to figure it out. So I can imagine the stresses and strains that people with MS go through. But I think she's back. Maybe not. But so for me, when you look at somebody, don't assume that everything is okay. That is one thing I can tell you, because when people looked at me, they couldn't tell that I was experiencing a concussion. It took almost a month before we figured it out. And then when we figured it out, everything was kind of cool, but I still had a lot of symptoms, and I still am suffering from the symptoms of concussion almost a year later. So people can't assume that things are okay. Just sometimes people go through struggles and just suck it up sometimes, on a more serious note. On another note, the college boy, Josh, I'm sure he had a great time and is still having a great time at the college dorms and stuff like that. I think that the downside for him is the fact that he's married. So he's probably not doing all the things that you might think a college boy would be doing. No, I'm just talking shit. We all know that Josh is older. He is married, happily married, and has a very good support system. So let me not talk shit because I'm just being funny. But for me, like I said, don't judge a book by its cover. Sometimes take the time out to read the content because you just never know. Sometimes people are hurting in ways that you might not ever understand. What's up, Steph? I know I broke my cardinal rule of never interacting and stopping and doing things like that. But hey, I guess in the interim of trying to buy time, Steph, what's cracking? Virgo Dree. I don't know much about Virgos, so it is what it is. I also pray all the time. I always give thanks to the Most High, because the Most High, without him, there would be no you or me. So that's why on Sundays, whether somebody tunes in or not, I air Sunday service, church service, 9:30, right here, Shit Talking Sundays, because I allow myself to be one with the Most High and try to learn as best I can. So if you want to tune in, please tune in with me. Let's watch morning service together every Sunday at 9:30. With that being said, I'm gonna give it back to our MS Warrior, and we're gonna probably wrap it up here pretty soon. What's up, lady?
Yes. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Hey, I had a very important phone call that I've been on, so I'm sorry, you guys. Yeah, yes, that was your baby daddy, girl. So the into this story wasn't that was crazy. This man, the worker, he was the only man there. There was 3 workers now in the office. I mean, 3 customers in the office, and he just he wasn't phased by nothing. He stayed right there and was praying for me, and that was trippy, especially when I had been having these feelings that I spoke to Miss Shirley about, and it was just really weird. And the message was to have faith for healing. That he wanted me. The message was he wanted me to have faith in my healing. That was the message that this prophet had to tell me. Crazy. The whole thing, me waking up, not even tripping off price, me going alone. I had just been sick. I needed to be there at that place at that time, I guess, to hear what he had to say. Now, 20 minutes is a long time when you're working and you've got customers. He wasn't phased by those people at all. He was drawn to me for that reason. So that was special to me. That was it. It had given me goosebumps, the goosies and all that stuff. And when I think about it, I feel a joy, like, and that was weird. I was there for a reason. Dree says, I have a similar angel story when I was pregnant with Josiah. Really? Ooh, an angel. Wow. Yeah, that's got to be nice. You're gonna have to call me and tell me about it. You guys, we stayed longer, an hour longer. I'm so glad Josh tuned in tonight, and I loved hearing about his story. I support Josh completely. He's been a follower for so long. Captain Tommy as well. I'd love to have him on the show too. It's not just about women with MS. Women knows no color, gender. Men suffer from it too. Everyone, thank you tonight for taking the time out of your evening to tune in to see your girl, the warrior, and get to hear someone else's side of the story with MS. That was our special guest, Josh, tonight. And on that note, I will say good night to everybody, family and friends. I love you. AG, love your friend for putting this on for everyone. And I'm just so happy tonight that we were able to spread more awareness with Josh's story, and a lot of family tuned in tonight. And I appreciate you guys. Yes, Dree. And I really enjoyed tonight's show, but I wanted to say thank you, AG, for taking the time out for putting this on tonight. And we shall see you guys back here next Tuesday. You guys know what time? 6 o'clock on Shit Talking Sundays. Be here, be square. Remember that saying? I know that's corny, but I'll talk to you guys soon. Spreading the love. Good night, everybody.
Right on. All right, y'all. Hey, look, we ran over this time. The plan was to just let it go. And to me, I don't care how long it takes. For me, I'm definitely not making money doing this. I do this strictly out of the love of bringing awareness. I want people to think deeper, think outside the box. And if I can share somebody else's journey with you, hey, we all win. For me, I'm also, morning coffee is coming. I've made a firm decision that I decided that morning coffee is coming. I'm gonna give you the latest, greatest whatever I find as AG the dad that I find exciting, I'm going to bring it to you. And once I bring it to you, you can go to our website, shittalkingsundays.com, and you could buy it there. If you go to shittalkingsundays.com now and go to the new shit link on our website, you will be able to see a couple things. We got a comic book by a very inspiring artist that's got a lot of talent, very talented. I'm not even gonna say the name. I just want y'all to go there and y'all find out for yourself. But the comic book is off the hook. Also, you know, the bobbleheads. If you want to make a bobblehead for you and your girl, if you got a friend who just has a big ass head that you think would look good as a bobblehead, then here's an opportunity. Hit the link in the description, and it will be there for you to be able to, you know, enjoy. With that being said, thanks for watching Shit Talking Sundays, because every day is Shit Talking Sundays. You can see In the Light of a Warrior every Tuesday at 6:30. Every Wednesday, you can see the fitness tip of the week with Vince the Beast from Team Fitness Major. Sundays is definitely giving praise to the Most High, because without him, there's no reason. Mindset. Every Sunday, 9:30, morning service. Stay blessed, y'all. Stay blessed. Love one, teach one, and maybe we all get educated around here, one person at a time. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe. Peace. I'm out.